Hey y'all, it's your boy Ace, and I got a video today, and I'm at work. So I'm gonna try to stick around with me, and we're gonna read in Mark chapter 4, 35 through 31. And it says, as evening came, Jesus said to his disciples, let's cross the other side of the lake. So they took Jesus in the boat and started out, leaving the crowds behind, although other boats followed. But as soon as the fierce storms came up, high waves were breaking into the boat, and it began to fill with water. Jesus was sleeping at the back of the boat with his head on a cushion. The disciples woke him up, shouting, "Teacher, don't you care that we're going to drown?" When Jesus woke up, he rebuked the wind and said to the waves, "Silence, be still." Suddenly, a great wind stopped, and there was a great calm. Then he asked them, "Why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith?" The disciples were absolutely terrified. "Who is this man?" they asked each other. "Even the winds and the waves obey him." That being said, right there, it just touches us in different ways, because a storm could be anything in our life that is brought to knock us down. But Jesus gave us the authority, right? Jesus gave us the authority. Life and death is in the power of what? The tongue. We can speak to our situations in Jesus' name. We having financial problems, speak to it. You speak life. You speak light. You speak to it. When God saw darkness, he did not say, "Let there be darkness." He said, what? "Let there be light." He has given us the authority to speak. Life and death is in the power of the what? The tongue. Then at the same time, faith. Have faith in God. You have financial problems, faith. Have faith in God. Faith without works is what? Dead. And we're going to continue to read the Mark. But this right here is in chapter 5. And I'm going to just read throughout it. So in chapter 5, it's a story about a lady who been bleeding for 12 years. And she went to different doctors and stuff. And she had deals with them. And she thought it was going to get better. But in fact, it got worse. So she heard about Jesus and what he was able to do. So she saw him in the crowd, and she believed that if she just touched his robe, that she could be healed. So in fact, that's what she did. She went up to Jesus. She touched his robe, and she was terrified. She was like, "Ain't no way." But at the same time, what did she have? Because before she touched it, she believed that she was going to be able to be healed if she touched his robe. Jesus' robe, not his disciples' robe. Jesus. On verse 30, it says Jesus realized that once that healing power had gone out from him. So he turned around in the crowd and asked, "Who touched my robe?" He didn't ask it because, oh, they stole power from me. But he felt that it was faith nearby. He felt that it was some crazy faith. Crazy faith. His disciples were like, "Man, how you going to expect us to know who touched the robe?" But Jesus, he was being Jesus. He kept looking around. Then in verse 33, then he saw the frightened woman trembling at the realization of what happened to her. He came and fell to her knees in front of him and told him what she had done. And he said to her, listen, "Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace. Your suffering is over." I don't know if y'all needed it, but I needed that, boy. For real. Man, he told her, "Go in peace. Your suffering is over." See that right there? It just show how Jesus get down. It show how Jesus work. Faith is what makes you move. We move our faith. I walk by faith. We have to walk by faith and not by sight. Us walking in sight. And in this dark world, we're gonna be bumping on caves. We're gonna be bumping in caves, stepping on rocks, getting bit by scorpions and stuff. But if we walk by faith, knowing that God's protecting us, he's gonna prepare a straight path, putting walls between your enemies and stuff to help you walk straight. It's gonna be hard situations, but we gotta have faith in these times. She was suffering for 12 years. 12 years suffering from bleeding, constant bleeding. She went to doctors. They ain't do nothing. In fact, what it said, the Bible said it made her worse. But she moved off faith. She walked by faith and touched Jesus, and she was healed. So it's time for us to start walking by faith and not by sight. It's time to where when we're going through crazy and bad situations, it's time for us to say, it's time for us to humble ourselves. Saying, I know who God is. You know, I know who he is, and I know what he's capable of doing. If he can move mountains, if he can heal a lady that has been bleeding for 12 years, he most definitely can change my situation. He most definitely can. And then it's another Bible verse. You know what I'm saying? When we study the Bible, we need to study it, see all the verses that go hand in hand. For example, if we struggling with financial problems or relationship problems, when it comes to financial problems, faith without works is dead. So don't quit your job. Don't quit your job when you ask God to help you, because you might go to that job, they might see how you doing good, and they're going to give you a raise. When it comes to a relationship, faith without works is dead. If you don't like how your individual is treating you, you know, have faith in God, talk to God about it, have faith, move in faith, and you talk to your spouse or whatever, and you tell them what's bothering you. And at the same time, the person you might be in a relationship with may not be for you. The Bible say be equally yoked. So I hope this video blessed y'all, because I know it most definitely blessed me. And I thank y'all for tuning in. I'm gonna drink my bottle of hot sauce.